it's Yumi again from MadeMD. So we're going to continue our MedTech series with the GoSmart Stylus. So last week we went over Notability and I was explaining how you can write notes and draw figures in Notability, but you really need a stylus in order to write efficiently and keep up with your professor during lecture. So GoSmart sent me the 200M series and the 300M series. So the difference is really in the design. And if you'll see when I pop the caps off, the tips are really the same. So they have this nice crosshair tip. I think it was polytetrafluoroethylene. Yeah, for you chemists, that's really exciting. One of the things I really loved about GoSmart, the styluses, was that they were really comfortable in my hands. So you can see the 200M has a really similar style to any regular pen. It actually looks like a marker. And you can take the cap off and just put it on top, and it's really easy to hold. I guess the only thing is there's no grip on the pens, but actually I found that with the 300M, when I put this rocket ship fan cap thing on the back, I found that the cap actually acted like a grip for me, and I don't know if other people like to use it like that, but I think it's actually really comfortable. Besides that, the pens write really quickly because of their fine coated tip. So on the iPad, as you saw in that video earlier, I was able to write really smoothly, just like a pen onto paper. I had no problems. There's no friction against the iPad. I actually have a screen protector on my iPad. And so screen protectors I know have a lot of problems because they often the styluses will stick to the screen protector, especially those rubber tipped pens. I really hated those. I went through a few of them. I got some free ones and I tried some of my friends, and a lot of times they just literally stuck to my iPad and I'd just be dragging it slowly across the screen. Basically with the GoSmart pen you don't have that problem. You can just write as smoothly as you were writing a pen to paper. Of course it does take a little time to get used to using the stylus and the iPad because it's a little bit of a different feel, but once you get used to it, it's no problem at all. The other great thing about the styluses is the clear view. So what I mean is when you have a rubber tipped stylus, what happens is you really can't see where you're writing because the tip is so large and it's just squishing against your screen. But with these tips you can see there's actually nothing in the way between the actual tip and your iPad. And so notes look a lot more crisp because you can actually see. It's really nice. One of my biggest worries with getting one of these fine tipped pens rather than the rubber tips was scratching, and that was something I actually researched heavily before choosing a stylus, and I found that the GoSmart actually had a lot of comments on that it didn't scratch versus some other fine tip styluses, and that's something that I experienced as well in the past few weeks. And trust me, I don't write soft. So the stylus has really held up well with my iPad. I've had absolutely no issues with scratching, which is really nice. And also, you should know that I have a screen protector on my iPad, like I mentioned previously, and screen protectors are definitely more prone to scratching. I mean, I was really ready for it to scratch because I have a backup screen protector anyways, or I was thinking about maybe just getting rid of the screen protector because I knew it probably wouldn't scratch the iPad, but I've had no problems and I got to keep my screen protector, which is really nice. Lastly, the 200M and 300M series have little magnets. You can see them. They call them rare earth magnets. Pretty cool. It's really nice to have because if you have the iPad Smart cover or iPad Smart case, see I have the iPad Smart case. I'll actually pull it up. This is for my iPad Air. As you should know, the top here is magnetic, so you can stick your stylus there and it won't move. Okay, it fell a little. I threw it a little too hard. It's okay. But in general, it won't move. But yeah, that's really handy. So when you're taking notes, you don't have to chase after your pen. But also, the pen caps have some nice grips, so it won't just roll off your desk. So some of the caveats to the pens, I know through just kind of interviewing my friends really quickly that a lot of them preferred the regular 200M stylus versus the 300M rocket fan design, whatever you want to call it. And the reason they didn't like this was because, like I was saying earlier, when you put the cap on the back, they said that the cap actually got in the way of them writing. See, I don't have that problem, and it might be because my hands are smaller, possibly. Also, I tend to hold my pen really weird. This is how I hold my pen. I know, like, the normal way is like to do this thing. Like, I never learned that. So I hold my pen differently, so maybe it's more comfortable for me for that reason. But I find it really nice as a grip. Others simply just don't think it's comfortable to write with. They think it just gets in the way. But if that's the case, then that's fine because you can just get the 200M, which is the same exact crosshair design, but with a new style. And they attach this crosshair tip with the spring here. I'm sure you can see it. And the spring is actually not as flexible as I would like. So what I mean is, like, as you can see, it's tilted to one side. So of course you write with this part down. And it can move. See, I'm moving it. It can move. They say you can move it like 90 degrees. I'm not really seeing the entire 90 degrees. What happens is, like, okay, I'll be writing and it's fine and it works, blah, blah, blah. But when I hit the edge, I start to, because of the angle of my hand when I'm writing, the tip starts to come off a little, come off the page a little, and so my writing will actually skip. I mean, and by that I mean it won't write anything when I'm taking notes on the iPad. And that's kind of a problem. So it's mainly in this area when I reach the end because I'm right-handed. So what I'll have to do is I'll have to readjust my hand somehow, and it's usually kind of uncomfortable in order to write on the edge of the page, or I just have to press really hard, which I don't like to do because I don't want to ruin the tip at all. So that's kind of an issue. There's just not as much flexibility as I would like in the spring. I really love the GoSmart stylus. It's definitely been a lifesaver for me. I guess lifesaver in the paperless note-taking process. If you're looking for a stylus to go paperless, I definitely suggest the GoSmart 300M or the GoSmart 200M, whatever your preferences are. Thanks for tuning in. Bye, guys.